So, who is Karabo Dynamite Nyalungu?
Karabo is a dreamer, highly opinionated, leadership-centered, a very driven young girl, very ambitious as well. And yeah, Karabo ke force obraga. Karabo ke chipi, Karabo ke piatla le shanda pha. Karabo walwela, hardworking opportunist. Karabo khatlametsa maswisi. Yeah, she's that basically. Manyana go kasi braga, very simple life. Mara selo sa senyaka ngwa seloila. Like wa pusha. Khila buruku, khila tsetsotle to get what she wants. So yeah.
Congratulations on Purpose and Dominance 2. Please tell us more about it.
Well, first things first, Purpose and Dominance is not a series. It's a series of books, but they're not in any way linked to a point where you'd need to read one for you to understand Purpose and Dominance 2. And I think it's something that I decided to do, and the beauty about owning your own content and owning it as a whole, 100% of it, is that you don't need anyone else to approve what you say. So if you say I'm gonna have them as 4 books or 7 books under the same name, but they are not related, you are more than welcome to do that. So this is just me changing the game. They are not in any way related, but it's just the same name for longevity's sake, for consistency's sake. So first things first, it's not a series. It's a series of books, but not a book series. I hope that makes sense. Purpose and Dominance 2. Purpose and Dominance 1 was about your purpose and the people around you. Purpose and Dominance 2 is your purpose and the spaces around you. So I wrote this book in first year, and it's a 3-part book, and the first part is my university experience. So that would be more relevant to people who were denied their university experience, perhaps due to COVID. So that would be current second years, current first years, people in grade 12, people in grade 11, people who are looking forward to enter the university space. So yes, the first part of the book relates with such people. About rest life, I speak about classism, I speak about the difference in background, I speak about difference in standards of living, I speak about failing academically, I speak about the National Student Financial Aid and what it means to a black child. And I say in the book that it is the only privilege that the black child has. But even with that, there's so many things that are external forces that put us at different levels. So we may all be under NSFAS, but not all of us are going to have the same results. Not all of us are going to spend it the same way. And yes, I speak about that. So part 2 of the book is called Let City Lights Enlighten. And that for me was let the Johannesburg city lights enlighten your dreams. And for me, it was at the back of having so many people leave rural areas, so many people leave other provinces to find hope in Johannesburg, to pursue dreams, to pursue music careers in Johannesburg. So I happen to study in Johannesburg. I cannot do an injustice of just getting a degree, only a degree, and take it back home. So I'm like, look at the opportunities around you. And it's not just about Johannesburg. Some of you are studying in Cape Town, some of you are studying in all the other capital cities. So the presence of yourself in that space, let it not be suffocated by what the space imposes to you, but have a dream so adjustable that you are going to use the opportunities presented by that unfamiliar territory to expand yourself, to exploit your opportunities, to make use of the opportunities around you and the people around you. So in that part of the book, I speak about how I did that. I speak about the ways in which you could do that. I give a few tips on how you can pitch your idea to certain people, because remember, you come from a different city and here you are trying to convince people to work with you, trying to convince people to collaborate and believe and invest in you. That requires a skill. So that is what I speak about in the book. The fact that you need to fight for your dream in every space. Whether you are home, whether you are in a different space, whether you are in a city, whether you are in a different country, you need to have a dream so adjustable that it is not dependent on the environment around you, but it is able to adjust to it. Last but not least, part 3 of the book, I speak about something that was centered around one of the things I identify myself as, and that is the black sheep in the family. I speak about this because a lot of young people, a lot of young black people resonate with it, where your mother was never the one that success was deemed to come out of, you know, and because of that, automatically, the daughters and sons of that person become the black sheep in the family. In family gatherings, it is so exacerbated. They become slaves, the talks are centered around them, the rumors are centered around them, there are assumptions that are said on behalf of them. And these are things that we struggle with, but we are not ready to bring to the table and discuss them. So what I'm saying here is, you've grown. Get over it. There will always be people who will be against you. There will always be people who will not understand you. In fact, there will be people who are committed to not understanding you. You've grown. Get over it. Yours is to be aware of who those people are and how do you channel yourself in a manner that whatever they do does not hinder you. So I share my experience. I grew up being a black sheep in the family. People see me as strong, but that strength had to be developed somewhere, and that was that.
We see your cover looking all beautiful and inspiring, but we believe there's a message behind it. Can you tell us more about the cover of the book?
Yes, there is a story behind it, and I credit to my graphic designer because I wanted the wedding to be the bridge. I didn't want the actual bridge to be there. But it's quite sentimental that this is not just the bridge, it's Mandela Bridge. So I do think Mandela would be very proud of me wherever he is. But also, the reason it's a bridge is, the reason there's a bridge there is because I was struggling to find my style of writing, and it took me 2 books to do that. So yes, there is Purpose and Dominance 3, but the writing style from Purpose and Dominance 1 and 3 are totally different. So this is the bridge, the link between Purpose and Dominance 1 and Purpose and Dominance 3. So I'm saying to you, you will not find your niche at first go. You will not find your area of excellence in your first go. So it'll have to take 2 books. For me, it took 2 books for me to get to a point where I'm fully content with my style of writing. So the bridge was that, to say, let me not disregard the content I wrote here because at that point, it did not satisfy me. There's still something in this that anyone else can draw. But because it's a bridge, that is why I think there's limited copies as well, because it's not meant to be the main thing. The main thing though is Purpose and Dominance 3, and this is just the bridge to it. So
you dedicated the book to your brothers. Tell us why.
I'm the firstborn of 3 children in our house, and the 2 that follow me are twins, and they are boys. And my thing is, if I'm the black sheep in the family because I'm born of the black sheep in the family, they are too. And being the black sheep means you're not the favorite cousin. You will have a birthday and they will not buy you presents. They will not greet you, some family members. So I'm trying to bring the idea of what I think a family should be like. I'm trying to make that a reality for them. For me, excellence is never a norm, especially in our family. So as one of the few to make it, I want my brothers to have a direct access to that excellence because I grew up not having it. And for me at that point, perhaps the access could have been something as small as a birthday present, something as small as being considered one of the favorites. But because we were so ostracized, my mother and I, the gap between my siblings and I is 12 years. So for a good 10 to 9 years, I wasn't very close to the relatives. It was only until a certain point. So that loneliness that I got to feel, I don't want them to feel that. But for me, it's not just the loneliness and me being a part of their company, but it's me also introducing values and principles that I never got anywhere because it was just my mother and I. So I want them to see it from their sister. I want them to see excellence and smell it and live with it and touch it, you know. So for me, it's about being an inspiration to them, because if I can it will be so much easy to influence other people. And me being able to influence other people sets the bar for them that our sister has done this. It's possible, you know. Me being one of the first people to do certain things in my family means then to my brothers they're capable equally to also push through the boundaries, regardless of what was said about us, regardless of what was done to us, regardless of some of the difficulties that we faced. Because face it, everyone else faces difficulties, and I'm not in a position where I am seeking people to account for what they did. I'm saying to my brothers, hey, this is how the world is. Not everything will favor you, and you are not supposed to be out there hating the people who could have helped you at certain points. No, get over it. But as you get over it, kill it. Get over it with excellence. Get over it with consistency. Get over it with hard work. And for them to understand that, they need to live with it, breathe the same air as it, and touch it, be able to talk to it. So this is merely that, and access to them.
The synopsis for us.
About the book. Building up from Purpose and Dominance 1, Purpose and Dominance 2 seeks to highlight some of the difficulties faced by the black sheep in the family. It focuses on how one's purpose links to the spaces around them. These are environments where inequality, privilege, and classism are immediate odds against black sheep dream chasers. The book provides survival mechanisms and lessons learned in these different spaces. Karabo Dynamite Nyalungu reminds readers of the importance of dedication, self-acceptance, and pushing through tough times. The leadership that led the leader to the leading lead. Skajisa team. This was for consistency's sake. You know, I felt that there should be things that we normalize as part of longevity. You know, it shouldn't be that when you are a brand, you are associated to so many things that end up losing the people you are influencing. So this is why everything that is owned by me is Purpose and Dominance. My hats, my journals, my caps, my books, right? But also, I get so inspired because I remember Skajisa team was such an odd idea. I was speaking so passionately on a video, and I happened to say Skajisa team, and it struck with me, and it was a catchy phrase. But when I think about it, Skajisa team, and for me, Skajisa team means refuse to be the loophole. Having told you the context of this book, I speak about family. I speak about university space. I speak about being the black sheep. I speak about all these other things that you need to do in order to survive. And I'm saying to you, Skajisa team. Team may be family. Team may be the people who are funding you. Team may be the people who believe in you. Team may be the people in the car, see that you left and you were in the same school with, you are the first to make it out there. Skajisa team means soldier on even when you face difficulties, because there's so many people relying on you to survive. There's so many people relying on you to make it first. Some people will never dare to raise their hands and say, I'm available for this, but they'll need someone to avail themselves, and they will see it from them and then deem themselves capable. So this is what I'm saying, and this is what I'm pushing with the brand Skajisa team. It was supposed to be a once-off thing, but I realized it carries so much value. So team is not just the people who may be your friends, but it can be any group of people that believe in you. Team is the greater good, the greater magnitude of the minds behind you, the hearts behind you, the people who put you in their prayers, the people who are inspired by you, your social media followers, because each and every one of us is an influencer. Also, what I like about it is the fact that it's such an easy read. I was deliberate with the font that I was using here. And yes, these are my acknowledgements, and special shout out to the Skajisa team family and everyone who has supported the Purpose and Dominance brand. I am truly grateful and humbly ask that you do to others just as you have done to me. Yes, and this goes to everyone who's bought anything Purpose and Dominance related. And this is the introduction. As you can see, it's quite centered. So it's an easy read. You can dedicate one page for yourself to read in a day. Literally in a month or even 2 weeks, you can finish reading this because it's so centered. The font is an easy read. You know, it's not too many pages. It's 110 pages in total. So you can divide that in a couple of days. You will be done. Thank you so much. Karabo Dynamite Nyalungu, Skajisa team. This is how we roll.
Satano